Love avocado? So do I. And in this episode, I'm going to show you how to grow avocado from seed. So stay tuned. Welcome to UK Here We Grow. I'm Tony O'Neill, and on this channel we cover all things gardening related, poultry keeping and beekeeping. If it's your first time here, consider hitting that subscribe button and bell icon to be notified every time we put out new content just like this. A year ago I made this video which was showing you how to grow an avocado from seed, a step-by-step method using the toothpick method. I'll put a link to that video in the description below and in the cards up here. Now in that video we showed you exactly how to take it through step by step using the toothpick method, and today we're going to show you a video where we're using it direct in the soil method. The first thing we need is an avocado seed, or pit as they're known. To get that, you can get that from a ripe avocado. Feel the avocados when they're in the shop, and if they're still a bit firm, put them in the windowsill and that will ripen them up to the point where this one skin is now pulled away from the flesh inside. You can use a little knife, just literally cut the flesh away lengthways right the way down to the avocado, and then just twist that avocado. As you can see, I've left this one quite a long time. That seed is pulled out. If you leave the avocado while it's still a bit fresher, you can eat that avocado, but I've left these quite a while so that the seed comes out nice and clean, and this is a nice big seed. As you can see, that avocado will just now go into the compost. But next thing we need to do is clean this avocado off, get off all of the mess off that avocado. So there we have it, guys. We've got a nice clean avocado pit, or seed, depending what you want to call it. So there are two ways in which we can speed up germination of this seed. The first way is to leave the seed on a kitchen counter until the skin of this avocado pit splits, and then it's just an easy job of just getting a spoon and peeling that seed. And because the skin is very dry, it's very easy to peel that seed. It pulls away very simply. We're in the middle of a storm here, guys, so please excuse the noise of the polytunnel. There we are. So that is the first way. Now because we've removed that outer shell, this will germinate very quickly. Now there is a top and a bottom to each of these pits. It's very shaped like an egg, and at the bottom you have a little plate, and at the top you just have a pointed end, a little bit like an egg. So that is the way that we are going to plant this seed. Now this particular one is ready, but another way that we could do it, we could speed that up again. If we didn't want to wait for this shell to dry, we could literally just take a knife and cut the top cone part, so the pointy end of the egg shape, off. So we literally just take a knife and we just cut it flat, just like that. Now I'll come up a little bit closer so you to have a little look at this, guys. Now here you have two options. You can just leave it like that and that will speed up really quickly, or if you wish you could then just try to scrape off some of this outer skin, just like this. Look, it is quite easy to scrape off, but it's not as clean as leaving it to dry. But I'll scrape them just to show you all of the methods. But you don't have to scrape this now you've cut that top off. You want to stay away from that plate there. And here we are, we're done. So we now have both our seeds ready. What's the next step? Alright guys, so now we have our seeds both prepared, one with a cut off top and one where we dried on the kitchen counter, and I'm going to show you how to do this now. But before we go on, I just want to tell you, stick around guys, because in the end of this episode I'm going to show you what the avocados that we grew last year from seed in the last video that I pointed out earlier on, what they're actually looking like. So you'll get to see what to expect within a year's time. Okay, so what I've done here is I've got some multi-purpose compost, and I've added a load of vermiculite in there. Now this does two things. It lightens the compost so that the seed can get its roots down much quicker. But the other thing it does is retain moisture as well. And you want it pre-moistened so that when you squeeze it, just one drop of water comes out and it holds in a ball. But when you push it, it breaks back up. And that's, you know, is ideal then for this. We get a pot, we put some compost down in the bottom, just tap it like this, and we're going to plant our seed. Now, there's a rule of thumb here guys, when you're planting any seed, you want to plant it twice the depth of the seed. So we need to leave about 2.5 centimeters, 3 centimeters above this seed, okay? Which we haven't got there, so I'm just going to push it down, and that's roughly what we're looking at there, okay? So you can see just how full. And now we're going to top this pot up. Remember to plant it top up, so point the end up guys. Give it a nice pat down. And now, even though it's pre-moistened, we're going to give it a water to settle that compost around the seed. So same thing again now on the second one. Just get that, and this is the one with a cut off, and you can see it's already starting to brown around this seed. So put that down in there and cover him over, firm it in, not too much though guys, but just get it a little bit firmer. And again, we need to give that a watering and settle that seed. So they both had a really good watering. So here we have now both these seeds planted up. There's a good weight on them because they've got lots of water around them. Now there is a way to speed this process up. You can sit these pots on some bottom heat, and that will help the root growth go really, really quickly. So avocado guys, it's that simple. You can plant these seeds very easily in either the toothpick method or the soil method, and you're going to get really good plants. Now, looking after those avocados as they come on is really simple as well. Give them a weekly feed through the summer of something like seaweed. This is Maxi Crops seaweed extract, and all of these products guys are available on our online store at www.ukyearwegrow.com/shop, and you can get all the products from there, and you should be able to find an alternative in the States as well if that's where you live. But so give them a weekly feed through the summer. In the winter, don't feed, and reduce the amount of watering to maybe once a month. Just keep that soil a little tiny bit on the dry side. The good thing about avocado is they will get down to temperatures of 0 degrees or 30 Fahrenheit for short periods. So you will need to take them indoors in the UK or in colder climates. Take them in the house, put them near a south-facing window, or if you have any lighting that you can use for plant raising, then use that as well. Now this is just an alternative way to growing them over the toothpick method, which we spoke about earlier on. Now here, these are both last year's plants. Unfortunately though, I've been really busy this year. I've had a lot of personal problems and I took my eye off the ball, and a slug and a snail got in on these. They've now both been dispatched, I can tell you. I wasn't best happy when I noticed this. However, they are both recovering, but as you can see, they've taken quite a lot of the leaf out of these on both the plants. but they are both recovering now. We've got some nice new top growth here, and we've got some coming through there as well. But this shows you, and to show you just how good these guys are doing. As you can see out the bottom here, we have roots coming out of the bottom. So it's time for these to be potted on again. Now next year these are going to fly because they have really well established root systems. I will be taking them indoors through the winter to keep them going like we did last winter. And we will just continue to feed them and raise these on. And now we have these guys as well. I've actually planted 3, which those 2 that you'll see, and there's a 3rd one here as well. So we will have 5 in total. Like I said, these ones will recover, but this is the growth in 1 year. And considering it took quite a while to germinate from the toothpick method, because, well, I'll rephrase that, it didn't take long to germinate at all. We had roots within a couple of weeks. However, I was lazy and I left them in the glass jars for weeks upon weeks upon weeks. And this one even lost its roots twice because they just rotted off. But yet, for some reason, it kept coming back. So eventually we got to plant them in the soil and off they went. But that's down to me being lazy and having other priorities. But they're doing really well now, and next year they will be storming on. They will always be kept in pots though, guys, because like I said, through the winter we need to take them indoors, and we'll set them up in maybe even the shed, because I plan on heating that through the winter, so that may even be a viable alternative. I really hope you've enjoyed this episode on how to grow an avocado from seed. You now have 2 videos where you can grow, whether or not you want to choose the soil method that we have done on these 2, or the toothpick method which we did on these 2. And as you can see, within a year they've both up to this sort of size, and that's fantastic for the UK. I got a question for you all. How many of you guys have grown avocado before? Put your answer in the comments below. I'd also be really interested to know any further tips that you may have. Share that with the community down there, because you'll be surprised how many people read that. I'm Tony O'Neill. This is UK Here We Grow, and remember folks, you reap what you sow. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.